Welcome to Susie's Secret Recipes and Little Country Store. And so guys, I got a cake in the oven. I need to deliver here in just a little bit, but I'm also going to my mama's, so I'll drop it off on my way. And we're gonna be making homemade lye soap. So come along with me and we'll get this show on the road. So when I was editing the video, I realized that I did not show where Mom and I was putting the lye into the pot. And I started with us putting the water in. So I wanted to mention that the lye is already in the pot. But we had already put on our goggles and our mask and everything else. And I guess I just failed to video that. So I wanted to add that before you watch the video. Okay guys, so we're getting ready to do our lye soap. So yes, I look kind of funny, but you when you're dealing with lye, you definitely want to keep yourself protected. So we have our goggles on, a mask, and then our gloves and long sleeves. And so we've already measured out our ingredients that we're going to use, all of our oils, and I'll go through that as I put them into the pot. But the first thing you're going to want to do, you're just going to want to get cold water, and we used, what was it, Mother? Spring water. And we're going to pour it into the pot. The ingredients, I'm going to put the recipe in the link so you'll be able to see the amounts that we used. And so I'm going to pour it gently into this pot. And when you are making soap, you definitely want to use pots that you're only going to be making soap in, because you don't want to put food in this later. So I have two particular pots that I use. Okay, once you've got that mixed well, then I'm going to set this aside. Now this is hot, and so I want to get it out of my way so I don't get burned. So now you want to add all of the oils that you want to put into your pot, and we're going to do olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil, and I think that's it. We're going to add our essential oils. You don't want to put fragrance oil in this. Make sure you get essential oils, and we're going to do cedarwood. And add a little color to it, and we picked this color because it looked real earthy and fall looking. And so, okay, so let's add our coconut oil to our pot. Go. Our palm oil, and we got the sustainable palm oil. You want to make sure that you get that instead of the other. And olive oil. Again, I will put the recipe to this in the description, so we'll have all the amounts and everything. So if you want to make it, you'll have the recipe. As you can see, I still have my gloves on, and my eyes protected. Your lye water, and gently pour it into the other pot that has your oils, and you don't want it to splash, so don't no. So you want to go very slowly. Okay, so now I'm going to add our cedar wood essential oil. Pour the whole bottle in because it's going to take it. It's going to need it. And then our color. This is an organic, so there's nothing harmful in it. It just adds color to your soap. Make sure you get all of that in there. And then you take your stick blender and just get to mixing. So it took both of us to get this job done. Mama took over mixing it so that I could film it so you could see what it looks like inside. All of the different oils are melting. The pot is so hot, so it won't take much longer before we can actually pour it into the mold. And so it completely filled it up almost to the top, as you can see. It's a beautiful brown color. So we're going to let this set, and it's going to have to set for 48 hours before we can cut the bars. And then the bars will have to set to cure for 4 to 5 weeks. Once it hardens a little bit more, you can make designs on the top if you want to. Some people will run their spatula over the top of it, or you can use a fork or going back and forth, whatever, to make it kind of rusticy looking. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover this. We're going to tint it with some cardboard boxes and then cover it with some towels and let it set for 48 hours, and then we'll be able to cut the bars. And this is already set for the 48 hours, so it is ready for me to cut. And I did run the fork over it. I thought it gave it kind of a rusticy looking top. It looks like one big brick. It's still a little soft. It's not as hard as what it looks like. So you have to be very careful with it. And so this is ready for me to cut it into bars. This definitely is very, very manly looking, very rustic. It's not as smooth as you can see on this particular bar. There's all sorts of things that you can do to the top of your soap. This one actually has honeycombs. It's pretty cool looking. Next thing you're going to do is cut your bars and put them on the platter and let them set for 4 weeks to completely cure. So Richard came in to assist and help me cut the rest of the bars. And I just love the top of it, how rusticy it looks. It reminds me of a tree bark, the way it looks. It has a wet look to it, and still very soft. It's definitely going to take the 4 weeks to cure. So I enjoyed my day with my mama. We had a really good time making lye soap, and I like to use the lye soap mainly in my dishwater. I love the way it cleans the dishes, and I just really like it. And so when I was cutting the soap, the remnants from it, I have gathered it up and put it into a bowl, and one of my soap broke in half. I don't know what happened when I was cutting it. So that one, I'm going to break into little pieces and use it for dish soap as well. And so I do like the lye soap for that purpose for sure. But as far as for soap, I do like it in the shower, but I prefer goat soap. Richard and I both love goat soap. And so this is actually a honey and oats. It smells like honeysuckle. So I'm going to be making some more of that here in just a little bit, and then some other kinds. So let's get this show on the road. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the melt and pour method for the goat soap that I'm going to be making today. I'll actually use this whole entire bar. It's 2 pounds. I'm going to cut it up in the little squares and put them into a microwave-safe bowl, and check it every 30 seconds and stir it until it is completely melted. So let's get to cutting. You want them cut up into little bitty pieces because it makes it quicker to melt the goat milk base. It may take a little time to cut them up, but it is worth it. So I'm going to put this into my Pyrex glass bowl. All in there. I'm going to put it into the microwave, and I'm going to melt it in 30-second increments. And then I'm going to take it out and stir it in between. And since I decided to do lavender, I have some lavender petals that I'm going to add to the soap, but I want the color to be the color of lavender. So I'm going to add it in now. And stir it. So now I'm going to add the fragrance in as well, which is lavender. I'm going to put a couple of drops of it. And I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla to it. A lavender vanilla. And keep stirring, get that incorporated. This is my spatula that I use for baking soaps. I do not use it for cooking, baking, or anything like that. I just use it specifically for soap making. Okay, and then get our little petals out here. You can see them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my soap mold. Now there's different kinds of molds that you can use, and for this one I'm going to use this one. As you can tell, this is very warm. It's already heated up, which is what we wanted it to do. I'm going to sprinkle, let's see, I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom of this. And a little bit on the top. Okay, so I've got it on the bottom. Sprinkle just a little bit. Kind of spread them out a little bit more. Make sure it's covered. Like, I mean, I don't want to like saturate it, but I do want a little bit on the bottom. And then I'm going to pour this. Let me get it. Maybe turn it this way into our soap mold. And all of those petals went up to the top, which I think is pretty. I'll do this. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And at this time, you definitely want to spray some rubbing alcohol on it. What that is doing is actually taking any bubbles that you might have in your soap. It'll take that away. Now I'm going to come back and just kind of add a little bit more of the lavender petals. There you go, and it looks like that. And so this is beginning to set up really nicely. It usually takes about 3 to 4 hours for it to be completely done, and then you'll be able to cut it up. And so goat soap, I do like the more natural colors. I don't know why, but I love that color. I love this one. This is a honey and oat. It's just simple, nothing fancy. This one I actually purchased, and I got it from the Amish store. And see, it's just basic, nothing fancy, and I love it. I'm kind of a plain Jane, I guess, when it comes to some stuff. But the swirls, they are pretty. I like them. Maybe not as well, but you know, some people really do like them, and I do enjoy making them. Some people will go to the extreme of putting things on top, different colors and glitter and all sorts of stuff. Those are not my favorite, but they are, you know, other people's. So everybody has a different preference. And so I'm fixing to get ready to make my honey and oats goat soap. So whether you're making lye soap or goat soap or shea butter soap, you want to color it, you want to use a mica powder This one is organic. It's, you know, it's not harmful to you in any way. There's all kinds of mica powder brands that you can get. I do need to get me some more, it looks like. I used some of the other colors, but you don't even have to color it. You can leave it natural. This is natural goat soap, and I love that color. It has little speckles of oats that was in it. Simple. So, I mean, it just depends, you know, like I said earlier, it's just preferences. And so I'm fixing my honey and oats goat soap. And so this is a 2-pound block, and I'm only going to use 1 pound of it. So I'm going to cut it up into little bitty cubes, and then I'll put it into the microwave. And I'm going to microwave it for 30 seconds and then stir it, and then microwave it again and for 30 seconds until it gets completely melted. Then I'm going to add oats, and that's 1/2 cup, and then stir it and mix it really well. Get it incorporated really good. The oats is good for exfoliating your skin. Then I'm going to add some raw honey, and that's 2 tablespoons. And stir it. And then at this time you can add any essential oil scent that you like. I put honeysuckle in it just because I love the smell of honeysuckle. And stir it in. And then you're getting ready to get your soap molds ready. I like to put oats at the bottom of my soap mold before I pour the soap in, and it makes just a pretty bottom of your soap. I like the look of it. As you can see, you want to try and get your soap even. It's kind of hard sometimes because you don't know how much you're pouring in at the time, but you just kind of go back and fill in as needed. And then you have all these little bubbles. So what you do is you'll take alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and just spray it on your bubbles, and you'll see how they disappear. There you go. So here's an update on the soap that Mama and I made the other day. It actually looks like tree bark and smells like cedar wood. Very rusticy, very, Richard will love this. I love the way it looks. It's still a little soft. It's going to take 4 weeks for this to actually cure and look more like this. You can see it's a little bit harder. This is lye soap too. And so it's quite involved to make, and we had the goggles and the mask and the gloves and everything on because we were dealing with lye. And so it took a while to fix. And like I said, it's going to have to cure for 4 more weeks. The melt and pour method of the goat soap, I mean, I did this last night, and actually I could have cut it last night, but I waited till today, and it's good to go. It smells really good. It's just a quicker method. It's already gone through the cold processing method, the melt and pour has, so you don't have to worry about that part of it, and that's the part that, you know, takes a while. So this kind of speeds up the process. If you are someone like me, and I don't have a lot of time, I'm always busy doing something, and so I want to make my own soap because I do care about what I put on my skin and what my family uses. Yes, I'm a health nut, like I said earlier. I care about what I put in my mouth, and I care about what I put on my skin as well. And so I do want to make my own soap. The melt and pour method definitely has my vote on that, and I really do like goat soap. The feel of goat soap and the feel of lye are very similar, especially after it cures. But it, just the process of it, the melt and pour, I don't have to worry about dealing with, like I said, the lye and all of that. I'm glad we did this. You know, my mama was telling me about her growing up, and that my grandma Naylor would put it into a big pot, put lye, and make, you know, stir it for a long time, making, you know, soap. And they would use it for their laundry, to wash their hair, to take a bath, to put, you know, wash dishes. They used it in everything. And so, I mean, this was a very, very special product for your household. I'm sure that process took all day long by stirring it like that. We have more up-to-date equipment now, so it makes it a little bit faster, but still it is so toxic that you don't want to breathe it in, and you don't want it to get on your skin. And so you have to go through the cold processing method to get it to be, you know, safe like this. You can now use it, and it's not going to be harmful to your skin. There's also the hot method, and a lot of people, you know, will use like their crock pots to make it. I've not ever done that. I am definitely not a pro at this, by no means. I enjoy making it, and when I may do it a little differently than other people. So like I said, I'm not like a pro at it. So guys, if you enjoyed the video today, then please give me a thumbs up and put it in the comments. And I will be putting the recipe for the lye soap that Mom and I made in the description, so that you will have that if you decide that you would like to make some lye soap. If you would like the recipe and everything that I did to make the actual goat soap, just put it in the comments, and I will see that you get it. Otherwise, guys, I will see you on Monday for an episode of Monday Motivation at 7:00 a.m. Central Time. And then next Wednesday at 7:00 p.m. for another episode of Susie's Secret Recipes. Happy trails.